Hello, ladies and gents. Sorry for the review being up a little bit later. Work. There's some silly mess going on at work, which caused me not to have this video up sooner. This is American Horror Story season. Thankfully, not with my coworkers, just some technical difficulties. Season 8, Apocalypse, episode 3, Forbidden Fruit. So the episode actually starts off with Michael Landon. He's going around, he's going to everyone, and it's almost like they're auditioning as to why they need to be the chosen one, why they need to be the chosen ones. I'm looking at all of them like, this is sad. This is sad. All of you are sad, but this is also sad. I hate Coco. I hate Coco, which means the actor who's playing Coco is doing an excellent job because she's getting all my everlasting nerves. Coco's talking about her fine breeding, how useful she is, how non-essential some of the other people are. I'm thinking, Coco, shut up. Now, Dina's a good old wholesome woman. The weird part is, Michael was looking at Dina as if he knew her. It was weird. I didn't get that part. I didn't understand that part. Her son, I didn't realize that was her son. I don't know why I didn't realize that was her son. Anyway, Mallory, who is Coco's assistant. Michael sees something in Mallory. He sees something that he wants to explore. A darkness in her. And she's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But then, what about this? How do you really feel about Coco? And we see Coco wanted Mallory to wipe her butt or her puss. Either way, she was on the toilet, and that was a little bit too much for me. And so he keeps probing and doing his mental psychological stuff on Mallory. So then Mallory was just like, hey, yo, dude, I feel there's a darkness in me. What you doing? Chill out. Next thing we know, we see Fire. Fire comes out. Fire everywhere because he's trying to stop her from leaving. So we see Fire. She goes, throws him, does some, kinetic, telepathic stuff, whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. But anywho, his face went all demonic on her. He was like, ah! And then she was like, ah! And that's when the fire came out. So then she ran away because she has no idea what in the world is going on here. How do I feel about all this? I'm just glad that the witches, because I said, if we're seeing all of this, this means the witches are coming sooner rather than later. And that's all I ever wanted. I just want the witches. That's all I want. That's all who I want. So now Michael's doing this like bloodletting ceremony. It's the whole thing of you sacrifice part of yourself to, the devil, the demonic spirits, and they'll go and grant your ever wish. And he's doing it to his father. So I don't know if his father's Lucifer or if it's really his father, the ghost creature in the murder house. I don't know if he's trying to resurrect his father, because he was talking about how, Father, I thought I took care of all of them. And I know he meant the witches. I know he thought he took care of all the witches. I don't know if all the witches need to die in order for his father to be resurrected, because it's too much. It is too much. His eyes were black. I'm thinking this is, oh Lord. Now we get into Mead's life. So Mead talks about how she's talking to Venable, and she's talking about how she lived an interesting life. She went trick-or-treating by herself, and long story short, she had weird interactions with men, and then after that, she had eventually became a spy, and she was fighting this guy, and it was bloody, and they were going back and forth, and what ends up happening is she kills him, but this was Halloween, and so she was covered in blood. She still answered the door, and the kids thought that it was just a really cool costume, and she kind of talks about how she keeps having this memory of this young boy, this young child, who she was supposed to be taking care of when she was younger herself, and he was just blonde, beautiful, and she just loved him dearly. I'm thinking, this makes absolutely no sense. So spoiler alert, I think that a bunch of these characters are like reincarnations of some of the people that we saw in the past. I feel like Mead is supposed to have the psyche of who was it the grandmother? I think the grandmother was is who took care of Michael, if I'm not mistaken, as a baby. So I feel like Mead maybe is supposed to be his grandmother or something. But Mead knows she's a robot. She knows she's a robot, and she was created because the cooperative needed her to do this and that. She knows some of her memories are false. All she knows for sure is that she loves Venable, and she's going to be loyal to Venable. I said, no, you're keeping a watchful eye on Venable, and she just doesn't know it yet. You know who's alive? Coco's boyfriend, and I knew it. I think I said something in the first episode where, or at least I thought it. Oh, I should have said it. That I thought that maybe he would live. That some way, shape, or form that he would live. And the fact that they talked about how there were people who survived the meteor crash because they're not immune. It's just that they were immune enough. Because we see him and he's trying to find, where she is because he knows about this alcove. There's these guys who are alive, and basically everyone's cannibals because there's nothing else to eat. So everyone's eating infected flesh. Everyone's eating this and that. Michael sent a separate carriage that had something in it. And I know I'm going to forget this. But so Coco's boyfriend hid under the carriage because he's like, where would something like that in a world like this be going? So I just wanted to make sure I put that in there now because I know I would forget. The carriage had this weird container. The weird container had food. So because there was another breach, it was like, wait a minute, what is that? And it's apples. And one of the bodyguards, who I think I said was killed, but she actually wasn't in the last episode, she was all about plants and fruits and all of that. So she understood, how these apples, because there's apples in there, how they could have survived. And Venable just takes a chance. She bites the apple. Adam and Eve style, snakes. We get it. These shows always incorporate religious stuff into it, so it makes sense. And just like how I said in the last episode, you can't tell me that the forbidden fruits. Come on, the snake, the serpent. Anyway, then they devise a plan, Venable and Mead. They're going to go use the snake venom from all the snakes that came in and poison all of the people in the who are currently in alcove. By poisoning them, Mead and Venable would be the only ones left. It would completely ruin Michael Landon's plans. They're going to go and steal the laptop. By stealing the laptop, that allows them to figure out where the alcove is. They don't need...
Remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe and come back.
Need him. Now we see Mallory. She's looking at the fire and she's spacing out for a bit, but everyone else is there as well because there's some interesting news. They're going to throw a party. It's going to be Halloween style. Everyone gets dressed up, and you know who's not going to be allowed to dress up? People like Mallory, because who is a Mallory? Mallory is the help, essentially. I hate that phrase, but she's the help. She's the help. Hairstylist is still pretending like he's really upset that his grandmother's dead, even though we know he does not care. We know he's happy she's gone. That old bird has flown the coop. She's dead. But he did that hairstyle interestingly. He did. I looked at that and said, you, sir, have a talent. You have a talent and a skill, because there was no hairspray, there was no curling iron, but he was able to go use her hair and create an interesting style out of it. We get this weird point where he does mention how he thinks that maybe this party will be the announcement of who's going to go to the new alcove and who's going to stay there. And that's when, it's like, so do you know something we don't know? Well, Mallory talks about how she had a weird encounter with Michael Landon, and she goes and tries to recount the story, but it sounds weird. It sounds weird. It doesn't make sense. And because of all of that, they're just looking at her like, is she stupid or is she dumb? That's how they're looking at her. And here goes Coco. Coco's like, oh, well, you know what? Instead of her wasting our time, why don't you go and see if you can make fire happen? You know, and I'm thinking, Coco, piss her off enough and see what happens. But nothing happens. So then Coco says something really rude. She says something to the effect of, well, Coco talked about how, look, you just need to understand that there's some people that have nothing special about them. You need to understand that and accept it. And maybe instead of you going and staying in La La Land, you can go and try this. Try going and being useful. Who says that to someone? Who says that to someone? Coco is trash and Coco deserves to die, and she does. You know how she dies? She thinks that she's going to be she's going to be the girl of the ball until her boyfriend comes back. Yes, he was able to sneak in. Not only did he, because he actually killed the one of the guards. He snuck in, he wore a mask, he danced with Coco, and then she thought that he was dressed up as Michael Landon. So they go into a separate room, and she's gonna try and blow him. But then it was just like, oh, hey girl, I haven't seen you in a while. And then she goes and talks about, oh my god, I miss you so much. Oh my gosh, I miss you so much. I was here all alone, and I felt so lonely. But you know, when I was on that jet, and yeah, we were leaving the tarmac, I was just thinking about, oh, I have to take the feelings for you and bury them deep so that I can survive in this new world. But you're here, you're back. He looked gross, but you're here, you're back. So let's, you know, let's figure this. He wasn't here for it. He went and stabbed her right in the head. Stabbed her in the head. Now she's dead. Woo! Ooh, she is dead. Ooh, she is dead. Now, and everyone is bobbing for apples. That's how they're gonna go and get their apples. And they're so happy. They're so thrilled to bob for apples. They don't even realize that they are slowly approaching their demise. And it's so sad. It is so sad and it's so dreary. Now it's time for everyone to die. So everyone, except for Coco, because she's already dead, takes a bite of the apple. And it was slow initially. And then it started becoming more visceral. And it was like, blah, 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 blah. And they all died. They all died. So now Venable and Mead, they go to Landon's room and said, well, it's about time you hand over the laptop because all of your prospects are dead. And he was like, oh, you think so? You think so? Mead has a gun, points it at Michael, then slowly points it to Venable and shoots! And she was so confused because she thought, oh wait, I was supposed to be loyal to Venable. I'm her robot. And Michael said, no, you're loyal to me. I programmed you to go and pretend to be loyal to Venable. You are my companion. And then that's when we get part of the backstory that someone really close to him died, and he essentially programmed the robot to kind of have certain characteristics or certain memories that person that he really cared about died and all that. And I'm thinking, so was it his grandmother? Like, come on, we need to make this make sense. And the other part of me was, this was great. This was cute. You realize that was a boy that you were meant to protect and you remember when you were younger. But we need to get to the important part. We just killed off everyone. We just killed off everyone. And as we see everyone's dead bodies all over the place, I hear the music. And I said, no. No, you can't do this. You can't do this now. We have 5 minutes. We can't do this now. And it happened. So Cordelia, I saw Madison. Oh my god. I saw Red. Red was there. The witches. They're back. Coven is back. But then they had to go and Dina, so they got Dina's body, Coco's body. Well, Dina's fine, but Coco's body and also Mallory brought them back to life. And then Madison walks up to Mallory and says, I guess you didn't think you were going to see me again, B. And I said, wait, what? So then it made me think, wait a minute. Is Dina supposed to be, Queenie? Is Mallory supposed to be Zoe? And, Coco. Who would be Coco? Not sure. But it confused me a little bit. I was just trying to figure out, okay, what's the connection? You brought them back. So are they all three of them witches? Because you're like, we had to go and get our sisters. I was very confused at that, but excited because now we're at the main event, the stuff I really care about. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe, come big.